What's up, everybody? It's Frederick Douglass Bussey. Not doing a whiteboard session today, but we're going to be talking about today's topic is the dark side of winning in business and in life. I think you're going to enjoy it. 1 second, and we go to work. If you're watching this live, watching this on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, welcome. Look forward to having this conversation with you today. A lot of times we think about winning and we're always talking about setting goals, crushing goals, execution, all of those things, right? There's something that we have in sight that we're trying to accomplish. And it's very, very important for us to be able to do this because in our minds, there's an outcome that we are looking forward to, that we are working diligently to be able to create. But what happens when you get there, right? And I want to kind of tell you the story. So interesting, this all kind of ties together. Normally I'm doing a whiteboard session. I'm sitting down and I'm standing up and I'm kind of working through the whiteboard to kind of illustrate a lesson that we're talking about. But I'm not doing that today because a couple of weeks ago I was playing basketball and I got kneed in the side and had some pain that kind of flared up. Well, it was hurting for a week. It went away. And then I went back to play ball again on this past Sunday. And that night had a lot of pain flare up. So I went to the doctor on Monday afternoon. They had given me some x-rays, found out I had chipped a bone in my rib. So I basically had a fractured rib. And so sometimes it doesn't hurt, sometimes it does. That's not really the point. But the point is that I've been playing basketball. Basketball is a passion of mine. I love it. You know, I know as you mature, you're supposed to mature into doing golf or tennis or things like that. And I still love basketball. Still love playing. I have a passion for it. And so the thing that's crazy is that, you know, I played basketball in college, but not when I first got to college. When I first got to college, I was terrible. If you don't know my story, I was homeschooled for a number of years. And back in those days, you didn't have all the options for homeschooling. You didn't get to play basketball and have AAU and other alternatives to playing in high school. And so that was something I kind of fought with my parents about for years. I wanted to be able to go and play ball. And so I was good when I was younger. But when we moved to right outside of Montgomery, Alabama, we didn't have the gyms. It was very different than where I'd been living before in Mississippi, where I had a lot of opportunities to play basketball and do different things. I couldn't get better. And so I lost a lot of that when I came as a freshman to college. Then the challenge was that a lot of my skills had kind of deteriorated. And so, but I really wanted to play. I really wanted to play. It was nothing more important than being on the basketball team at my HBCU. Shout out to Oakwood University in Huntsville, Alabama. So it was almost like I felt invisible because I couldn't be on the team and I wanted to be on the team so bad. And so I was diligently in there. I had a job working on campus. I used to work across campus and I would, in the afternoon after class, I would sneak over there, finish my workup as quickly as I can, and then sneak over to the gym to play ball in the afternoons. And I was just always in the gym and hanging around, and all my friends were on the team. And it was just this thing that I had, this vision I had of being on the team and playing basketball and being able to grow from there. And so it was a focus of mine for years, or it really shouldn't have been. I mean, of course, looking back now, I was never going to the NBA. I was 5'11", 135 pounds when I came to college. I was tiny. But I wanted to play. It was a goal of mine. I really, really fixated on it and focused on that. And eventually I did make the team. But before then, you know, the greatest glory that I could get was intramural basketball, right? And if you don't know anything about Oakwood University, you don't know that at this HBCU, intramural basketball was akin to the real deal. We had playoffs. You had teams. There was trash talking in the cafeteria, you know, in the dorms. Everybody was really, really hype about that. And so my junior year, I got a chance to be a captain of a team, and I picked my friends, picked a lot of my boys or whatever, had a squad, and we ended up going to the championship, and people just they counted us out. They didn't think we were one of the best teams. So weren't going to have the chance to be the greatest or whatever. But we ended up going and winning the championship. Now, the entire run all the way up, right? There was this girl that I was interested in. There was a lot of drama that was going on around that whole situation. In my mind, I had this vision of us winning the championship and her being there on the sideline and just running and jumping into my arms and celebrating. And, in this vision, like people were going to be cheering me. And it was like Rudy, the movie. They're going to be chanting my name because of this underdog story coming to prominence to win the intramural championship. And I remember the night that we won, the girl that I was interested in at the time was actually not working. She was not there in the gym. She was working. She worked campus security. And so I remember winning, and we're getting the trophies and everything, and she's not there. And people were less than excited because we weren't the favorites. My team wasn't, the most popular guys. So we didn't have that whole hoorah and all the things that were going on. There's no champagne and all that stuff that you get in the NBA finals, which you imagine in your mind, but it's nowhere near that, of course. And so then I stopped by her job on the way back to my dorm and told her we won. And she was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And her reaction was so subdued. And so the reason I'm telling this story is because I realized over time working with clients, in my own successes in business and things of that nature, that a lot of the things that we picture in our minds as happening when we win do not happen. And I see it over and over again. Entrepreneurs have made 6-7 figures. They talk about the things that they want to do, and they're going to do when they win. They're going to buy these things, a Ferrari, a house, a beach house, whatever the case may be. They get the accolades. You get the 2 comma award from ClickFunnels. You get all the different things that happen, and you think it's going to set your world on fire. And in reality, it does the opposite. And a lot of people start spiraling downward into depression. They start looking for the next thing. And what I also see happen very often is that what we will do is we will burn things to the ground, right? And it's because many entrepreneurs need the pressure of success. They need to be able to start from zero, that scratch or whatever it is, to be able to motivate themselves to go to the next level. And so the only thing they know how to do sometimes is not go to the next level, but tear it all down and start over again and get back, right? And so that need, that focus, that motivation that's required to be able to get there is something that they're really, really fixated on. And it drives them. And the reason why this works is because our brains are wired to seek out things that reward us with dopamine. And a lot of times we think about dopamine in terms of love and addiction and sexual attraction and things of that nature. But the studies have shown, and there's this amazing book called The Molecule of More that talks about this, how dopamine works in our minds. But what happens is that for most of us, we are fixated on something in the future, a goal, a bigger vision, whatever that is. And that is the thing that drives us. That is the thing that motivates us to create and to lean in and to sacrifice and to grind and to work really hard, because we have this vision in our minds of what is going to happen. And that vision actually gives us the dopamine to be able to press towards that goal and to accomplish that goal. And that's awesome in many ways as we're pushing forward. But what happens is when we get there, right? When we achieve that goal, very often that victory is hollow. And there's a phrase that the Greeks called a pyrrhic victory, right? Where you've won, but everything gets burned down in the process, because it's just, what would happen is when they would win a war, there would be the people who were being conquered would burn everything, so that even when you took the city was all burned down. It was empty. It was hollowed out. And so a lot of times that's what happens for us because we have built this thing up in our minds of what it's going to be like when we hit the seven figures, when we do this or whatever. And this is hard for people to hear when you're on your way up the mountain and you're trying to scale, because like, so you're trying to tell me that when I get there, it's not going to be as valuable. It's not going to be as meaningful as I thought. Then why am I working this hard? And very often what happens is that many entrepreneurs, they actually downgrade the goal in their mind. They say, well, if it's too hard, it's not going to be worth it anyway, right? So if it's not going to be worth it, I'm not going to push forward to make that thing happen. And so they experience the dark side of winning before they ever actually win. And that's a challenge that you have to go through as well. Why am I talking about this today? Because for those of you who want to accomplish something, I don't want to sugarcoat it and act as if you fixing your business is going to solve all your problems, because that's not the case. And this is what a lot of us believe. We believe that if we just solve all of our problems in our business and we grow big enough and we make enough money, then people will cheer us and that we'll be validated and that it'll be worth it. And that everything that we wanted in our lives will come to pass, right? And in reality, that's not true, because as a mentor, Rich Lipton often says, right, you can never have enough of the thing that you don't really need. You can never have enough of something that you don't really need. If you don't need it, then no matter how much of it you get, no matter how high or how big or how shiny it is, it's never going to validate you. It's never going to fill a hole that it was never meant to be filled by that thing, that accomplishment, that goal. So as entrepreneurs, it's much more important to be able to make that shift and understand that the why, the bigger why that you're out to create, has to be bigger and more meaningful, deeper even. And so if you are grinding in your business, you're stuck and you're sacrificing and you're trying to fixate on the thing that's going to help you to get out of it, although it can be motivating to set your sights on, one day I'm going to get this house. One day I'll be able to take these vacations. One day I'll be able to work from the beach. Whatever your goal is, whatever your thing is, wherever there is for you, understanding that there still has to be something that's deeper, that has to be bigger and more powerful and expansive, is important. And you've got to be able to articulate that. And the reason why that's important is because the more clear you are on who you are and what you're out to create, the easier it will be for you to stay focused and to push through, because now you're more even keeled. You don't get as high, you don't get as low, but you're able to maintain the consistency that is required, right? Because success is monotonous. And most people don't want to hear that. You know, we make entrepreneurship out to be really, really sexy, and it's supposed to be really, really highbrow, and it sets you apart as a unique person. When in reality, it's about principles and execution. It's about consistency and focus. It's about discipline and habits. It's about systems and leverage. It's about mindset. All of these things are what it's about. And none of those things are sexy in and of themselves. And if you keep chasing that sexy thing down the road, what it actually does is it kind of pushes it further out. Or you will keep pushing it further out because that's what you need to be able to be motivated. And that motivation in and of itself is going to come and go. Nothing lasts forever when it comes to motivation. Not even the joy or satisfaction of accomplishing that goal. But if you can understand what is beyond the goal, that there's always something beyond it that is higher and deeper and wider and broader and more meaningful and significant, then you can push through and succeed. And it's really important that you get that understanding. Let me know your thoughts on this. Have you ever accomplished a goal, had something that you were chasing and you got it, and it just didn't feel as satisfactory as you thought it would? What did you do? How did you respond? How did you feel? If you have dealt with this before, what are you doing to deal with it now? For a lot of my clients, the ability to be able to talk to someone who can understand that and help them to work through that is very valuable for them, because most people can't understand that. 99% of the people in this world, although many have set goals and accomplished them, have never set something so far out, so far above that they don't understand exactly what you're going through when they're looking at your life and comparing it to theirs and say, what are you complaining about? What would you even be upset about? Why is this hollow for you? You got Ferraris, you got the mansion, you got a successful business, you got money in the bank. What are you frustrated about? And in reality, they can't relate to it. It doesn't resonate with them. But for those of you who are on this path of entrepreneurship and pushing forward, you understand exactly what this means and what it feels like and why it's so hard and why it matters so much. And if you are one of those people, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know what your thoughts are. All right. As always, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, drop a comment below. If you're watching this in the replay, Facebook or LinkedIn, whatever, drop a comment, hashtag replay. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, send me a message or DM me, comment as well. We do this to be able to help entrepreneurs turn sandcastles into skyscrapers. Stop letting your dreams wash away every night to rebuild them the next day. Let's build things that are sustainable, scalable, and significant in our lives. Hopefully it's been valuable for you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. It's Frederick Douglass Bussey, ever forward.